Hi tarot friends, it's Jade here. Welcome back to my channel, Tarot Your Truth. And I'm back here again with some responses to some additional prompts to the hashtag 31 Days of Tarot by Ethany Dawn. And I'll see if I can link that video below. Hopefully I remember. Anyway, I'm back here today to do a few different responses, starting with number 9. And I think I'm going to do from number 9 to number 12. This month is a pretty crazy month, so I'm going to lump some of them together. So number 9 was to share a memorable reading from 2019. For 2019, well, okay, so first of all, let's bear in mind, again, I know I've repeated this a few times, that I have only been learning tarot for 9 months now, so since April. So I have done quite a lot of readings in that time, some pretty significant studies. And I guess the most memorable reading for me was being done for a friend. And that friend at that time didn't feel comfortable sharing the specific questions or any details. So other than just a general thing about, about her family or getting together with some family that she hadn't seen for a very long time. And that particular reading was very memorable because even without having, so I did a Celtic cross, and even without having any real details, actually, she didn't let me completely finish the reading because it resonated so much with her that it kind of freaked her out, to be honest. So I guess that was a memorable reading for me. Anyway, I can't really share too many details for that. So prompt number 10 for day 10 is to show some tarot decks that have been long lost in your collection that you want to reconnect with in 2020. So for me, I have a few decks here, but again, bear in mind, these are all decks that I've acquired in 2019. So none of them have been really long lost. However, there are several decks that I haven't used in a few months or at all just yet. And so those are the ones that I am going to share. So the one that I just started to show here is sorry about the light, is the Mermaid Tarot. I love these backs. I edged the sides in varying shades of blue and green, because it is a very watery, very green blue deck. So I love this deck, and I love the images. I've flipped through it many times to look at the images, but I have not I've not really worked with this deck just yet. And so this is one of the decks that I think I'm going to be using this year, probably in the springtime. Along the lines of the mermaids, I'm also, another deck that I haven't really worked with other than just looking through is my Dame Darcy Tarot. This one is the 3rd edition. I edged the sides in blue. Should probably move some of these out of the way so I have a little bit more room here. Okay. Again, this is one I haven't worked with, just been looking through the images. I love this, and I think I'll choose the same month as I'm working with the Mermaid Tarot. So sometime this summer. This just feels like a summery deck. I love this deck. I love the style of the artwork. I love the lettering. I'm not crazy about situations like this where they split up the writing. That one's not so bad, but I think there are a couple that they sort of have, like that kind of bugs me. But I still adore this deck. So that is the second one. Moving on, what do I want to show next? Let's look at this one since we're looking at blue decks. Blue-green. This is the Rackham Tarot, and this is another one that I have had for, I don't know, about a month and a half or so now, and I have not used just yet. Maybe a little bit longer. But I love this art. This is all pre-existing art that was made to fit into a tarot deck. So there's some, you know, pluses and minuses anytime that decision is kind of made. Oh, that's upside down, sorry. That's also upside down. Have I been showing all these all upside down? I apologize if I have. Anyway, it's beautiful, beautiful art. This deck I also edged in blue. Hopefully that focuses to sort of match the backs. All right, so that's 3. Along the same lines in terms of the summer, I'm going to show this one right here. This was a gift from my lovely partner for my birthday last year, and this is the Mystic Mondays. Sorry, I'm just going to move this light because it's really irritating. Okay. So this deck I worked with actually quite a lot last summer, but I haven't worked with it for a few months, just because I've been working with some other really lovely decks as well. But I love this deck. At first, this one really surprised me because at first, when I got it, you know, it's got such bold colors, and it seems like it's sort of very simplistic artwork. So it seems like, or I thought it would be just sort of light and fluffy messages, but I was very surprised. I get actually some really insightful readings with this, and the more I worked with it, the better those got. So I'm looking forward to working with that again. So that'll probably be another summer deck for me. Or, you know, I change my mind almost every day, so who knows. Okay, moving on again with the summer. This is another deck that I have actually not used as a tarot deck. I've been looking through the guidebook and working with the specific herbs and plants that are in here. This is the Herb Crafters Tarot, of course. That came out in July, maybe. And again, this is another deck that just gives me a lot of feels. Love the art. Love how they've posed everything with the hands. And the guidebook is fabulous. So I'm not sure that this is really a deck that I'm going to be using as a tarot deck. I should probably try it. I don't think I've even done a deck interview with this, actually. But the way that I would like to study with this deck is to actually just go through one card at a time and work with one card at a time with the guidebook. I do have a walkthrough of this deck, so if you are interested, please feel free to check it out. Okay. I have quite a few decks here, guys. So that is deck number 6, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So far, this one over here you probably recognize. Again, this is a deck that I worked with pretty intensely for a few months, and I haven't worked with it for a few months. And this is the Tarot Muha. Speaking of decks that surprised me, this is another one that surprised me. I don't really know much about Art Nouveau, and this is a deck that I really fell in love with the art. I love the colors, the bold colors. I love the expressions on the faces. I love everything about it, even the borders. And again, I get such lovely, such insightful readings from this deck. Yeah, I think this is one of those decks that I just keep thinking about, but I haven't pulled out again. So this one is staying on my reading table. All right, so that was deck number 6. Deck number 5 to me feels like a springtime deck. And I'll show you why. This is the Joie de Vivre by Paulina Cassidy. And I edged it in a light purple. Again, another deck that I have not worked with, so I am looking forward to doing that this spring. It's kind of like, I love the colors, I love the art. It's kind of creepy cute, and I don't mean creepy in a negative way. I think this is a great deck if you wanted to use it for kids. I think it's great, but just some of the proportions are kind of like the Dark Mansion in terms of, you know, the face, the heads are big, but then the arms are very skinny. These ones here aren't so bad, but anyway, very, very cute. So that's one that I am looking forward to working with, and I'm making plans for specific months. Okay, let's talk about this one. This is feels like a wintry deck to me. And this is, of course, the Crow Tarot by M.J. Cullinan. Hopefully I've pronounced that correctly. Another deck that was very surprising for me because I would not have said I was a fan of collage. And I'm still not really a huge fan of collage, but this one, just so much care and effort was put into this. I love it so much. I have worked with this one some, but not in several months anyway. So I need to pull it out again and work with it. It's just one of the things I haven't figured out. So this is called the Crow Tarot, but I understand that some of the birds in this deck are actually ravens. I haven't quite figured out how to figure that out yet. So I'll have to check that out soon. This one here is the Housewives Tarot, and I love this deck. I bought this deck because, well, it just seemed like it was super kitschy, and you know, it comes in a box that looks like a recipe box. In fact, there are recipes on here. Oh, that's the copyright. I pull out the one that doesn't have a recipe, of course. For example, Icebox Fortune Cake. So it seems like such a fun deck, and it surprised me again because I did not think that it would actually be a readable deck, but it really is. Here are the backs, which is beautiful. Just reminds me of kitchen tablecloths from the 70s. And again, another surprising deck because it just, you know, keep drinking, forget all your troubles, drink too much and you might end up with a baby. It just seems like such a cute, or it's such a clever deck. My favorite card in here is the Devil Cake. And yeah, it's such a fun deck, and I thought it would be just kitschy and not really usable as a tarot deck, but very much like the Zombie Tarot, I found this to be very usable. I love that every suit has a different color border. It makes it very easy to identify what suit you're in. And I had been thinking about trimming it down to the art, much like Lady Knight of Avalon. If you haven't checked out her channel, please do. She modified this deck to cut the borders off. So you do end up losing a little bit of the art, but really not that bad. And to be honest, I haven't 100% decided yet, mostly because I haven't been working with this deck lately. So anyway, I will make that decision at some point. So that is the Housewives Tarot. Okay. So that one we'll put aside there. The next deck I have is this one here, which I really love this deck. This is and I feel like I've said this already a million times, but this is the Minchiate Etruria, the Florentine Edition. So there's the backs, you can see the Etruria, and I guess this is not, I've been reading that this is not officially a tarot deck. I mean, I guess it depends on your definition of a tarot deck. There are 90-something cards in this deck. So it includes all the 4 suits, as per usual. It includes all the court cards, but then it includes some extra cards. So this is number 8. So in RWS, this would be Justice as number 11, but this is Justice as number 8. So you have all the coins, the cups. There's the Wheel of Fortune, so all the ones you normally see. I believe this is the Star, beautiful card. There's Temperance. There's the Hangman. There's Strength, as she was shown originally with the woman with the broken pillar instead of the lion. And I'm trying to find an old one. So this is 25. So this is one of the ones that was added. So the cards that were added, because I said there was 90-something, the cards that were added include the zodiac signs, the elements, and I believe it includes the other virtues. And I can't remember exactly which ones those are. I love this Sun card, by the way. Love it. Anyways, there's one of the other additional cards. Anyway, so I do really love this deck. I found this one to provide so much more information than even a regular tarot deck because of those additional cards. And I mean, you can take them out and use them in various ways. One of the ways that I have used them is to use the zodiac cards as the timing. So timing for the months. And yeah, you can check out Benabel Wen has a wonderful review and talks about how to use this deck, and I really enjoyed it. That, and the other one is oh my god, I'm totally blanking on her name. I'll see if I can link it down below or link the video if I remember. She hasn't been on YouTube for about 1.5 years or so. I'm hoping that she comes back. But Sacred Seed, that's who it is. Sacred Seed has some wonderful videos showing readings with this deck. Okay, and this one is in a little pouch that I made. Is if my fingers want to work. The Spiral Tarot. Actually, the one I haven't included here is along a similar line, which is the Mythic Tarot. But so this one I did trim because I did not like the borders. I think they were purple, if I'm not mistaken, which just did not go with this deck. But anyway, so this one again is a very insightful deck. I really love it, and I've not used it that much, so I really want to pull this out and get moving on it. Anyway, so we're 20 minutes in, and I'm only on number 10, and we've got 2 more prompts to go. So those are the decks that I am looking forward to connecting with or reconnecting with. And none of them have been long lost, just sitting there waiting their turns, I guess. Number 11, where's my prompts? So prompt 11 was to show your favorite depiction of the High Priestess and why. So I can't just show one, I have to show 4 actually. And I do have a video series actually called Walking Through the Tarot. You can see a specific playlist where I go through every single card. And I show actually the same card, so the High Priestess, for example, in all of the decks that I had at the time, which was, I think, 42. And anyways, I've pulled up 4 here, but you can certainly check out all the others if you like. So this is the High Priestess from Tarot de la Nuit. I love how, I apologize, it's kind of dark in here, the light's not great, but I love this for several reasons. One is, you know, she's quite serious, she's looking straight out at you. The book talks about knowledge. We've got the crescent moon, which you can, I think you can barely see there. We do have the pillars, there's some vegetation and whatnot, but I just find this card speaks to me of knowledge, of wisdom, of, you know, I can help you, I can provide you with knowledge, but you have to ask, you have to take responsibility for that. So that is that one. This one is from Tarot of the Hidden Realms. Let's see if I can get that. Oh, sorry about the lighting here. This one I love as well for a different reason. The moon is much larger. It's much more prominent in this card, just speaking to that hidden, you know, the moon sometimes reveals and sometimes conceals. And so that really speaks to me there. We have all the birds or the butterflies. Speaking of change, so be careful of the information that you're actually asking for. Make sure that you really do want that information. It is abundant, it is there if you want it. This one is from my Ancient Italian deck, and I love this one. So this one's actually called the La Papista, the female pope, and for similar reasons to the Tarot de la Nuit, you know, we have, she's again in her own right. She's a spiritual leader in her own right. We have the barrier behind her, speaking to that hidden knowledge. We have another barrier here behind her. We have the book. We have, you know, she's got all of her, and we've got some comfort as well. That is that one. And the last one, which I love for no other reason other than it's just cool, is from the Zombie Tarot. I love this card. I think this is probably my favorite one out of all of them. I just love, you know, she's got all the knowledge of humanity. She doesn't need a book. You can see it, that I sort of get that from here. We've got the fire, the creativity, sort of an altar, I guess. And you know, I just adore this card. I don't know really what to say about it, but we do have similar, you know, we've got the 2 pillars in this card, and the barriers here. We just have similar ones here, I guess, in a post-apocalyptic world. But anyway, those are my 4 favorite High Priestess cards, and sort of why. Okay, that's number 11. And number 12, the prompt is, what divination tool outside of tarot have you used most often? So for me, that would be Oracle. And the Oracle deck that I have used most often this year, or in 2019, I should say, is the Divine Feminine Oracle by Megan Watterson. And I've shown, if you've seen my channel before, I've shown this before many times, because I have, yeah, I've worked with this deck a lot, actually pretty much almost daily for the past several months, and at least weekly anyway before that. But yeah, I love it. I do use this deck. I know some people use oracle decks sort of intuitively. I guess they use tarot decks that way as well. So I have heard and read people that have used oracle decks in general, just intuitively looking at the image and then looking at, you know, the key phrases or words down below and using that. I don't do that. With this deck anyway, I actually really love the book. So the book provides about 3 or 4 pages, actually, yeah, 4 pages for every card. So you get the picture. It is black and white, but that's okay. You get the name of the goddess, you know, a key phrase about her, and then sort of a mantra at the bottom. So I've enjoyed working with that, but I really enjoy the 1.5 pages, yeah, almost 2 pages of just information about her, so you get to know that goddess a little bit, maybe how she came to be, what her story is, that kind of thing. And then there's over a page here of information as to, you know, when your soul selects her card, and then it gives you sort of a story and what sort of you can take from, what message she can give you, what, you know, what you can use her for, or, you know, what sort of guidance she can provide you, I guess would be a better way of saying that. There's a soul voice meditation, so that is the same phrase that's here. And then an intention. So again, I think that's, both of those I think are on here for the most part. Yeah, that's it. So that is how I've been using this oracle, and I do have a Sibylla oracle, but I haven't used that nearly as much as I have this oracle. Other forms of divination, I do have a couple of Lenormand decks, but I haven't used them yet. I haven't learned how to use them yet. I have a set of runes as well, but I haven't learned how to use those. Those are all things that I'm going to be learning this year in 2020. So that is it for me for this video. Sorry it was so long, but that would be prompts 9 to 12 on Ethany's 31 Days of Tarot 2020. So hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much. If you do have, if you're doing videos as well, please link them below. I'd love to watch them. This prompt has, or this exercise, I guess, this tag has been a lot of fun for me. I've really enjoyed both doing it, thinking through some of the things, some of the prompts, and then watching others as well. So I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.